What if you're missing clay targets because you're trying too hard to aim? What if the secret isn't more lead, a different choke, or a faster swing, but learning to trust your eyes? Decades ago, legendary shotgun instructor Robert Churchill promoted a more natural approach to shooting. His method focused on letting your eyes lead, your body move with the target, and the gun become an extension of your vision. In this video, we'll break down 5 forgotten Churchill lessons, from stopping barrel aiming to practicing movement instead of just chasing hits. And by the end, you may rethink how you shoot every clay. Lesson 1. Stop trying to aim the barrel. One of Churchill's most important ideas was that a shotgun should not be treated like a rifle. With a rifle, you deliberately align the sights with a stationary or predictable target. But clay shooting is completely different. The target is moving, your gun is moving, and the amount of lead required can change from one shot to the next. If you start staring at the barrel and consciously trying to place it at the exact point in front of the clay, you can easily interfere with your natural movement. Your eyes should be focused on the target, not distracted by the gun. Churchill's approach was to let the eyes lead the gun. Your eyes identify and track the clay, while your hands and body respond naturally to what you see. The shotgun becomes an extension of that movement, instead of something you constantly try to position manually. This is especially valuable on crossing targets. Rather than thinking, put the barrel exactly here, think, see the target clearly, move smoothly with it, and let the shot happen. That small change can remove unnecessary thinking and make your shooting feel far more natural. Lesson 2. Let your eyes control the shot. Churchill understood something that modern shooters still struggle with. Your eyes are faster than conscious calculation. When a clay is moving across the field, you don't have time to calculate every variable: speed, angle, distance, lead, and gun movement. If you try to consciously control all of those things at once, tension builds. Your movement becomes mechanical, your reaction slows down, and the shot can arrive too late. Instead, Churchill's instinctive philosophy relied heavily on visual awareness. Pick up the target, stay connected to it, move the gun naturally with it. Then fire when the visual picture feels right. This doesn't mean randomly pointing the shotgun. Technique still matters. Your stance, gun mount, head position, and balance all need to be consistent. Most importantly, your eyes must remain focused on the target, not the barrel. Once those fundamentals are in place, the shot should become increasingly natural. The goal isn't to ignore technique. It's to stop thinking about unnecessary details during the final moment of the shot. Lesson 3. Your body should move with the target. Another important part of Churchill's method was using the whole body rather than relying entirely on the arms. Imagine a fast crossing clay, moving quickly across your field of vision. If you try to move the shotgun using only your hands, the gun can become jerky and difficult to control. You may start behind the target, suddenly rush forward, and then stop the gun as you pull the trigger. That is a recipe for inconsistency. Instead, your body should provide the foundation for the movement. Your feet establish balance and give you a stable platform. Your hips and torso help create smooth rotation, while your arms guide the shotgun naturally. At the same time, your eyes remain locked onto the target. This creates a smoother, more connected movement. And smoothness matters because the shotgun should continue moving naturally through the shot, rather than stopping abruptly. For shooters over 40, this can be especially useful. You don't necessarily need to become faster, you need to become more efficient. Less tension, less rushing, less unnecessary movement, more balance, visual focus, and control. That is where Churchill's philosophy becomes especially valuable for experienced shooters. Lesson 4. Don't chase the perfect lead. Here's where Churchill's philosophy challenges the way many shooters think. Shooters often ask, how many inches of lead should I use? But there is no universal answer. The required lead changes depending on the target's speed, angle, distance, and your relationship to the target. Trying to memorize one perfect lead can actually make you less adaptable. The moment the target changes, your calculation changes with it, and that can create hesitation, tension, and a rushed shot. Churchill's instinctive approach encouraged shooters to develop a natural relationship with the moving target. You see it, you move with it, you maintain the correct visual connection, and you allow the shot to happen. This doesn't mean lead doesn't exist. It absolutely does. It means you don't necessarily need to consciously measure it every time. Think about catching a ball. You don't calculate its exact trajectory before moving your hand. You see it, react, and adjust naturally. Shotgunning can work in a similar way. With correct practice, your brain learns the visual relationship between the target and the gun. Eventually, what once required conscious thought becomes instinctive, and your shooting becomes smoother, faster, and more consistent. Lesson 5. Practice the movement, not just the hit. This may be the most important part of Churchill's philosophy. If you want to develop a more instinctive shooting style, don't judge every practice session only by how many clays you break. Pay attention to how you are moving. Was your gun mount consistent? Did your eyes pick up the target early? Did you stay focused on the clay instead of checking the barrel? Was your swing smooth and controlled? Did you rush the trigger? Did you stop the gun immediately after firing? These questions can reveal more about your shooting than your score alone. One of the biggest mistakes shooters make is changing their technique after every miss. One miss happens, and they change the hold point. Another miss, and they change the lead. Then they change the choke, gun, or even their entire shooting method. Eventually, nothing feels repeatable. Churchill's philosophy suggests something very different. Build one natural movement and repeat it until your brain trusts it. That repetition turns conscious technique into instinct. And when instinct becomes reliable, your shooting becomes smoother, calmer, and far more consistent. The big takeaway: make the gun an extension of your eyes. Robert Churchill's forgotten lesson isn't really about a magical shooting trick. It's about simplifying the shot and removing unnecessary thinking from the moment that matters. See the target clearly. Move naturally. Stay balanced. Keep your eyes focused. Allow the gun to follow your visual information instead of constantly trying to place the barrel in the perfect position. For experienced shooters, this can be especially valuable. After years of shooting, the problem isn't always a lack of knowledge. Sometimes, it's too much conscious control. You already know how to mount the gun. You understand lead. You know how to swing. But when you start thinking about every inch of movement, every fraction of lead, and exactly when to pull the trigger, you can interrupt the natural coordination you've developed through experience. Churchill's approach reminds us that the goal isn't to control every part of the shot. It's to build a reliable setup, trust your eyes, and let your body respond. So next time you step onto the stand, stop trying to calculate everything. Watch the target, trust your movement, and let your eyes lead the gun. That may be the forgotten part of Churchill's method modern shooters can still learn from today. If this video helped you understand Churchill's approach differently, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more practical clay shooting lessons, especially for shooters looking to become smoother, more consistent, and more confident.